Guys, Jay here. So in this video today, I am just going to casually play while talking a little bit about the state of the game. This is going to be negative and positive. So a little bit more negative than positive. I know that the game has released in a very, very rough state. I do think that they are trying too hard to just meet the deadline, and they sacrifice the quality control of the game in the process because they just do not have enough time. A lot of the changes that they have made, you can, if you want to, you can just check the patch note for 0.20, and you will see that they got a lot of nerf last minute, and they just like blatantly backfire immediately when the game is actually launched, and when the patch actually launch, and we actually play the game. Almost immediately we realized there are a lot of problems, and yeah, after that, in some of the interviews, especially the Zizaran interview, I do I do hear a bunch of quote from Jonathan Rogers, which worries me like a lot. The first one is when he answered the question from Zizaran that why is the game that hard from the just very beginning, the second zone that you are in the game, the where the wolves and the witches either like swarm you and kill you really quickly with their deadly fast attack, where you don't have gear, you don't have any skill options, you don't basically have any ways to just fight back, especially if you choose the wrong skill. And Jonathan answered, but what if is not what if the combat is not engaging from that moment? People might want to quit. No, fuck no. I'm sorry. Sorry for my language. The fuck no. Nobody is going to quit because literally the second zone and the white monster that they're fighting in the ARPG is dying. No fucking body is quitting at that point. That point, every single fucking human being on earth, if they are thrown into that situation, if they kill the white monster, the three white wolf that comes to them, when they just slap it and they dies, they'll say, hey, I'm a god, right? I'm feeling good. Let's just see what is going next. And when they face the boss of that zone has a boss. Literally a boss. That should be the challenging point, not the fucking white monster that you can see everywhere. This game, if you want to put Souls-like element into this game, sure, put it. But in the Souls game, man, play the Souls game again and tell me if the white monster or the insignificant monster, the no-named NPCs, those kind of monster, the skeletons warrior in the hallway that you just like kill the first time, but the second time you realize they do not matter and you don't do anything to them, just run through them. Do they matter? And maybe they are hard the very first time that you fight them, that you don't know the mechanic, that you don't know that you need to like parry. I will talk about parry and POE later, but you need to parry and then just put them in the vulnerable stance and you can kill them. That is Souls. Yeah, that is Souls-like. But the bosses are the point of the game that it actually is hard. The bosses. It's the bosses. It is not at all every single, like, white monster. Shit. I don't understand it. Seriously, I don't. I just don't. That sentence from Jonathan Rogers haunted me from the day that I heard that in the freaking podcast. And I still did not forget about it. Maybe I did not say it word for word, but the idea behind that sentence just haunts me. I would be very worried for the future of this game if that still is the freaking philosophy of this game for designing difficulty. I don't want to see this happen again the next big patch at all. The game can be poorly balanced in the early access. They are treating this one not like a true early access, but half of them is they are treating every single like new patch as a actual leak, as a actual game, right? So it's a little bit different. But anyway, I don't want to see this situation happen again, ever. It's not for my own sake. I know the game. I may struggle, but I eventually will overcome and I will stay in the game and just get to the end game. That is just a fact. I'm not the best player, but I'm just a very experienced player. That is not going to affect me. Maybe I will be slightly more annoyed. Maybe I will complain, but I will still play the game. The point that I want to make is, if you keep the game that way, if you think that the white monster very early on in the game is supposed to challenge the player that much, yeah, fuck it. You will lose all of the new players. Maybe you will not lose all of the new players, but at least half of them. I can guarantee you. Nobody likes to be decimated like that by white monster, because everybody in the ARPG, and even just new to ARPG as a whole, when they are in the game for a little bit, they know that white monsters are everywhere. They are not significant, and they are not supposed to be significant whatsoever. You want this to appeal to casual players, then make it casual friendly. Don't try to just stress out the average Joe who just come back from work. He wants to relieve his stress, and you want to challenge him every step on the way. What the fuck is that mentality? I don't understand. Not everyone in the world is a masochist to enjoy that shit. I am not. I know I'm not. I know most of you guys are not. Right? That is the first thing. That is a very big thing. Very, very, very big and very bad, in my opinion. So let's hope that that is not the case. Let's hope that that is just one single instance of Jonathan being like very stressed. I know that he is very stressed at that moment because he received a lot of backlash, a lot of pressure from the community. Everybody seems to want to make him the like scapegoat, the witch, to just burn and crucified. I do understand that. I do have a job, if not more than one job. I do know how it feels like to be under the spotlight and just becomes the person who takes the responsibility when something bad happens. That feels awful, right? I do completely feel for him. But still, the responsibility is his. Or at least a big part of the responsibility is his. So I think he actually deal with it much better later on. I did not watch the there is a podcast with Cole Carnage and It Me JP, and I don't remember the other guy, but that podcast, he seems to be way more relaxed. Maybe the question is so much like tamer, is more new player, is more like less stressful, but from the beginning of the podcast, he seems like he is way more relax and just be himself again. In the Scissorin podcast, he does seems to be very stressed, under a lot of attention, and yeah, man, I feel for you, but I do think you need to reevaluate what you said there, and I do sincerely hope that is not going to be the way forward for this game, because boy oh boy, it will turn people away quick. They will run fast. They will run faster than the fucking wolf. If you buff the wolf movement speed to 500%, if the player is not in the game, they have nothing to chase. Right? So, makes the beginning a little bit easier. Allow the players to have action time, like reaction time. Allow the players to have a way to fight back. That is fair. That you should allow Okay, so in the beginning of the game, you have like a skill, right? As a active skill, uncut skill gem that you can choose. You have one of the four options. In every single category there is always at least one wrong option. That if you pick that as a new player, you don't know anything. Hey, this skill looks cool. I read the name, I read the description, I look at the video. Probably not everyone is going to look at that, but hey, this skill is cool. I will pick that, and then it sucks. It doesn't do damage. It doesn't kill anything. And the wolf is on your asses. And the witch is just snap a finger. If you don't move out of that area of effect that you don't know what it is yet, you die instantly, 100-0. That's not good. It's not good in any kind of game. So that is the first point. Sorry, this is going to be a long ass ramble. Yeah, I don't expect it to be like a video that I am going to grow the channel on whatsoever. But I need to voice my concern, right? So build diversity. That is the second point, and that is, oh boy, that is the big concern. The thing that makes me worry is they kept making the same mistake. Sure, all the skills might not be balanced, all right? All the skills might not be balanced. But first of all, most of the skills for spear specifically, which is the new weapon, I am going to talk only about spears here, so it's easier to just have a point of reference, right? All of the spear skills feels horrible in the beginning. When you press the button, it feels bad. In like the first 10 levels. You press every single spear button at that point, it feels kind of bad, if not really bad. Every single one of them. I don't understand why. They have to like hyper focusing on making everything with a condition. Everything has a drawback. Everything has to have a condition. Everything has to consume a charge. And you don't have a good way to generate charges. Fuck parry. There, I said it. Fuck that. That mechanic is dog shit in this game. That mechanic is good in Souls game, obviously, where you have like only a few monsters at most around your ass at one time. It maybe be good at like Rest of the Wicked, where you basically have the monster density of a Souls game. This man, this thing, the count of monster that is like chasing you is insanely high to make parry even like viable. Sure, there are some situations that you can use parry, but you should not design anything to be built around fucking parrying and then use a skill. With how slow everything is in the beginning of this game, it just feels horrible. They are trying to press the multiple buttons so hard to a point that they don't want to reward the combo playstyle, the multiple button playstyle, but instead they just make anything that is one button shit. I bet your ass that Stomping Ground and Rake is unintended, and they will just nerf it to the ground in the next patch. But because right now it is like the only viable good leveling method, that if they declare that it is a bug, it is unintended, they are going to fix it, it is going to just destroy them with all the backlashes. But the next patch, that thing 100 freaking percent is going to be removed. I am super sad. That thing is strong, but it's not broken. It is really strong, but it's not broken. So, yeah. I don't understand. Every single spear skill feels like shit. And then there is the outlier. The good old, not good old, but good new lightning spear. What makes lightning spear strong? It has many fucking projectiles. Every single time something is broken in this game. What is the common thing that you see in POE1 and in POE2? What is always the most broken, batshit crazy things that happens to our character in POE? Ever in history of POE. Except for double dipping. What is the most broken build? What is the most broken skill all the time? It is always multiple projectiles everywhere. Every single damn time. And yet, the Kant seems to grab the fact that that is broken and needs to have a limitation. That's about it. I don't think the solution is that hard. I don't understand why they limit the fucking the potential for biodiversity. They limit the creativity by every way possible at the moment in POE2. And they are afraid of limiting the fucking number of projectiles that can shoot out in one single use of skill. I don't understand why. They are afraid of making FUB gun and, some streamers who blast a lot with projectile builds all the time mad? No, I don't think so. It's just stubbornness. Damn it. Feels so bad. Every single time something is broken is a lot of projectiles. Okay, so actually last league there is a case of the attribute stacking. That is a different one. But last league, what is the other broken stuff? Fucking Spark. The way that they nerfed this patch. How did they nerf it? Half the projectiles numbers. Why can't they count from the beginning? Why? I can assure you the next big patch where they are going to nerf Lightning Spear for sure, it is going to be around the number of projectiles. Of course, along with some numbers, reduction on damage, on attack speed. But it has to be the projectile. Why I keep clicking on that fucking port? Ah, shit. And then on the topic of skill design, the support jabs. Boy, oh boy, the fucking support jabs. We all memed on Diablo 4 for the damage on Tuesday, right? I am one of the person who meme on Diablo 4 massively for the fact that they have the damage on Tuesday things. Now look at me, looking like a fool, playing the game I love with damage on Tuesday, but not even on Tuesday. All of Tuesday is on Tuesday after 12 p.m. and then you have to be on the even second on the clock or something. There are so many fucking conditions on almost every single support gems. I can guarantee you that the best support gems right now in the games, that majority of people are using them, are the simple ones. Please have more simple ones. Please, seriously. For spells, please have something that just more fire spell damage. For lightning, more lightning damage. Just like, or you make the freaking the gem that fire infusion, cold infusion, and lightning infusion work for spells as well. Why are they attacked? Does spells committed a crime or something that they need to have that? And then all the freaking condition that you have to move like 10 meters, you have to just be close to the target, you have to be far away, you have to be like behind them and in front of them at the same time in order to deal 30% more damage. What the fuck is that? The conditions that they are putting into those gems is insane. Some of them are batshit crazy and almost impossible to play around. Why are they even in the game? It takes time to design those things. And nobody is using them. Everybody is hating them. Why? Why? It's such a waste of time. There are so many better things to focus on. And you add 100 gems into the game. 100 support gems. I was really excited about them. And then I realized that I used like 5 of them. And the other ones are not even like usable. I don't even think of a way that make them usable. So, yeah. It's just sad at this point. Why do we, or again, the term I need to use here is hyper focusing on making the game annoying, making everything has to have a condition, making everything has to have like 3-4 steps before you can actually benefit from the thing. Why is that the design philosophy for everything? You can have those in the game. Keep the cool ones, have them in the game, make them shine by the fact that they add a much bigger multiplier than the average normal support gem. That is going to be the way. Why did you have to be complicating all the random things that's not supposed to be complicated? How many support gem do you want in the game if you add all the classes? Because right now, I do believe each of the classes have a different weapon type tied to their classes. You need support for those. With the way that you are doing the support right now. A lot of them is limited to attacks. A lot of them limited to like weapon specific. A lot of them is limited to special condition that you kind of have to use a specific way to just achieve those kind of like condition. So these support gems are horrible. I didn't even mention though the fact that they are actively trying to remove the cool interaction from the game. They want everyone to play the dev intended build. How if they have a build guide in the game? If they do that, it probably is on the screen here, says you have to play this. You have to follow the build guide. You have to follow our vision for the build. Everything else is unintended. Fuck that. You have every right to remove all the like broken interaction in the sense that they break the game literally. Like they just like kill the server, kill the game, crash the game. Those kind of things has to be removed. Sure. Everything that deals a lot of damage, you have the right to nerf it. But don't remove the interaction, ever. You did it pretty well in POE1, I would say. Some of the gems have insane drawback built into the gems for certain playstyle because it would be broken. But they are always enough for you to, if you want to still play with that build. For example, there are skills that have like insane damage multiplier. And it will be really good if you play it with like Ignite. So they slap like a 80% less element damage on it. It's still playable. But it's not disabling the possibility to play that build, right? So I don't understand why they just go all the way in POE2 to just limit build diversity. They want the game to have good build diversity. because that attract more players, because not all players like one thing. Even though the majority of players like to be fast, like to clear the whole screen, like to delete bosses, not all of them are. I am not one of them. I know a lot of people here is not one of them. We enjoy tanky build, for example. We enjoy comfy, slow, but comfy, tanky character. Why can't we have it in the game? Jonathan, I remember, I think he said that because people want to be attacked, so they just don't give defense option. They just give options to skill attack. What the fuck is that mentality? I'm sorry. Again, really sorry for my language. I cannot contain it in this video, right? What the fuck? Really? Really? Why? So again, in conclusion, monster difficulty and Souls-like element need to be reevaluated. They need to understand where the difficulty should be before they actually just get to the point where they balance how much difficulty it is. They need to understand where the actual difficulty should be in order to make a cool game. They need to really nail that down. Second, build diversity. Please, for the love of God, do not try to limit build diversity. It can be unbalanced on release, sure. You can tweak the number. You can remove the interaction that does not break the game. But does not remove interaction between skills that is because of the reason that is not in your vision. That is lame as shit. Now that is really lame. Third, support jams. Please, for the love of God, remove some of the fucking condition. By the way, the skills, the spear skills, would be insanely cool if they are a little bit weaker in terms of damage. All of them. But they are the version that when they consume the frenzy charge. It'll be insanely cool, by the way. They all should be like that. And when you consume frenzy charge, you should gain more. A little bit more. But do not, please do not design this way. Do not design everything in the game this way. The classes as well. I didn't even touch on the classes, but the classes seems to be on the same philosophy. They seems to pave a way, and they want all of us to just do that. I hate that, personally. If you don't agree with me, that's okay, but I hate that. Fuck that. All right. So a little bit of positivity and why I still have hope for the game. Well, all the quick fixes that I have done since the 0.20 is pretty much all very good. It makes the game feels better early on. It makes the game feels better in the end game. Even though they are still very fucking stubborn in some of the issues. And a lot of seems very obvious solution that we kind of all agree about, at least the majority of the vocal people on the internet are agreeing about. They seems to be very stubborn and push back, but still they are trying to make a lot of changes in the way that makes the game feels better for the majority of players. I think that is a very good thing. It has always been like that for POE1. There are a couple of incidents in the past that the game is not making a good update. It got backlash, and they still stay on their philosophy, on their vision, but they eventually just like find a way to balance out, and they just listen, and they actually make the changes. That is always a very good thing, and I'm very happy to see that it is still a good behavior, a good like habit that they keep for POE2, right? And I do think, by the way, they should do mid-league nerf. They should not be scared of that. That was really bad one time in POE1. But that is an actual fully released game for like multiple years already, and they do mid-league nerfed. That is bad. But this now is the right time to use the early access card. Put a big ass text on the screen here. Put a big ass red text here. Says, this is early access. Things can be nerfed if they are broken. We are sorry. We are going to give you a free respec if we nerf something. That is going to just save lives at this point. Please, for the love of God, do that. It will help you a lot, because if you mid-league nerf, for example, right now, let's say if you kill Lightning Spear, a lot of people is going to be very, very unhappy. But there's a lot of people who will just change to playing another build. And there is more info, there's more data, there is more input into the actual like balancing of the game. And yeah, I think that will just overall be much better, much better for the health of the game. Sure, people will be mad. If my build got nerfed, if this interaction got nerfed, I will be mad as well, but I would just move on and play something else. I know that not everybody is thinking the same way as I do, but I personally still keep in mind for myself that this is an alpha or a early access phase, and eventually the final goal is for us to have a good game when they actually release it in the full version. So from me, I would accept that. I know not everyone is accepting that, but that is my opinion, right? And finally, I want to give a rating for the game in the current state and compared to the 0.20 original release. I think in the original state of the game where it released 0.20 and 0.21 also, 0.21, I would say it is a 7 out of 10. Right now, no, actually not right now, let's just say 0. So the initial release, it is around a 7 out of 10 for me. In the 0.20 Dawn of the Hunt, the first patch, before every buff patch that they do later, the game is a fucking 3 out of 10. How much is it right now? Right now, I think it's go back to 7. So that is my idea, right? Obviously, the very first patch is for Dawn of the Hunt is very rough, but right now they actually make it much more enjoyable overall, and yeah, they should improve it even more. I don't think this is good, but at least it's better, right? So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. This is going to be the only complaint video in patch 0.20, Dawn of the Hunt. So I will see you in the next build video. Peace.